Bruchim Aboim, welcome everyone to a special edition of All Parsha, the Baal Haturim, on Parshas Shoftim. I would like to share with you a dozen offerings of the Baal Haturim on Parshas Shoftim. Let's begin. Parak Tezayin, Pasuk Yerches, the opening Pasuk of the Parsha. The Baal Haturim speaks about the juxtaposition of the end of Re'eh, which speaks about the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 Yamim Tovim, and Shoftim. Well, first the Baal Haturim says, based on the Gemara Roshana Chav Daled, that the Shoftim, the Dayanim, are the ones who established the Yamim Tovim. They proclaim Rosh Chodesh and the establishment of the calendar, hence the juxtaposition of the Shoftim with the Yamim Tovim. Furthermore, based on the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah Daf Vav, that they would force people to bring their nedarim on the regalim, whatever a person vowed during the year was enforced by the shoftim, and therefore that explains the juxtaposition of the shoftim together with the Yamim Tovim. Furthermore, the Gemara in Kedushin says on Daf Pei Aleph, the shoftim would warn people not to sin in the regalim when people are well dressed and people are strolling through the street. It was incumbent upon the shoftim to ensure the purity of the Jewish people during that period of the year. Now, we could also mention a second offering of the Baal Haturim, the juxtaposition of the 3 regalim, the number 3, with the shoftim. And this indicates and signals a number of things. First of all, the Gemara in Sanhedrin Pevav Amud Beis teaches us that the Sanhedrin was positioned in 3 places. Number 1 on the Har HaBayis, number 2 at the Azara, and number 3 at the Lishkas Hagazis. Furthermore, the Gemara there says in Sanhedrin Daf Lamed Zayin that the Sanhedrin sat in 3 rows, and that is also indicated by the juxtaposition of the number 3 with Sanhedrin. Well, we move on to the gematria of the word shoftim. Well, the Baal Haturim says that shoftim is numerically valued as ayin Sanhedrin. The word shoftim is gematria, ayin Sanhedrin, the 70 members of the Sanhedrin. So these are not just talking about judges, but these are talking about the 70 members of the Sanhedrin. Offering number 4. Vishaftu es ha'am b'chal eis. Vishaftu is oisi ois upashot. You should judge upashot. What does it mean upashot? Says the Baal Haturim, this is marames to the teaching of the Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Ches Amud Aleph, that Yehei chaviv alecha din shel pashut ledakdik boy kedin shel mea mana. It should be beloved upon a person, the din of a simple person, to medakdik in it like the din of 100. It should be beloved to a person, the din of a pashut. A pashut is a simple coin, the most basic, lowest level coin. One should be medakdik in the halachic status of one simple coin, like the status of mea maneh. So that is the indication of v'shaftu is oisi ois upashut, meaning judge a small monetary case with the same carefulness as a larger case. Parak Tezayin Pasuk Chav Aleph Loisita Lecha Ashera Kol Eitz. Now, one should not plant any Ashera tree. The gematria of Ashera is Dayan She'eno Hagan, a judge that is not fit. Why? This is also a remiss to that which the Gemara in Sanhedrin teaches on Daf Zayin Amud Beis. Anyone who establishes a Dayan who is not Hagan, it's as if they planted an Ashera. Now we move on to offering number 6, Parak Yudzayin Pasuk Aleph. The Pasuk says like this: Lo Sizbach Lashem Elokecha Shayar Vaseh Asher Yihi Avoimum Koyal Davar Ra Ki Soyavas Hashem Elokecha Hu. We could read these words: Koyal Davar Ra Ki Soyavas. Any bad thing, for it is an abomination. It could also be read any bad word, for it is an abomination. This teaches us that one who is menabel piv, one who says something unseemly, one who says something improper, one who says something lewd, is considered a toyeva. It's considered a toyeva. Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Vav. Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Vav. Yad ha'edim alpi shenayim edim shleisha edim yumas hames. The dead person will die. Now, only a living person can die. What does it mean? The dead person will die. Ooh, says about Haturim. This is a remez and signals that which the Gemara teaches in Brachas Daf Yud Ches Amud Beis, that Rishaim b'chayehem nikraim mesim, that the wicked in their life are called dead. The wicked in their life are called dead. Rishaim b'chayehem nikraim mesim. The wicked in their life are called dead. This comes to indicate that the definition of life is using one's time that the Rebbe Shalom gave the person for its intended purpose. But the wicked in their lifetime are called dead. Therefore it says Yumas Hames, because this person sinned, they're considered as if they're a mess. And Risham B'chayehem Nikraim Mesim. Okay, we continue on to Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Tes Vav. Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Tes Vav. Soim Tasim Alecha. The words, this is referring to the mitzvah of making a king. Soim Tasim Alecha Melech. Soim Tasim Alecha is Gematria Shloishim Mailos, 30 attributes, to teach that Malchus is acquired with 30 Ma'alos. Soim Tasim Alecha is Gematria Shloishim Mailos. And then the next words of the Baal HaTurim, Mikarav Achecha, which literally means from among your brethren. You cannot appoint someone of whose lineage is from the Gentiles. But more than that, Mikarav Achecha, we know that a king has to come from Shevet Yehuda. Amazingly, Mikarav Achecha is Gematria Mishevet Yehuda, from Shevet Yehuda. Okay, we continue on. Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Chaf. Now this is the mitzvah on the king. Levilti rum levavai me'achav ulevilti sormin hamitzvah yamin usmaya leman yarich yamim al mamlachtai huvanav b'kerav Yisrael. So this pasuk that talks about the king not being arrogant begins with the letter Lamed and ends with the letter Lamed. A remez that Malchus will come from Shevet Yehuda. Yehuda is Gematria 30, letter Lamed. And as we mentioned, there are 30 Mailos of Malchus, like it says in Avos. And David was 30 when he reigned. And therefore David sang Shira that begins with the letter Lamed, Lam Natseach le'Eved Hashem leDavid. However, Leman Yarich Yomim, this teaches a melech that rules from age 30 will be Marich Yomim, but not Shol. And that's why juxtaposed to this Parsha is the Parsha of Kohanim and then the Parsha of the Oiv. That because of what Shol did to the Noiv Era Kohanim, and because he asked from the Oiv, he was lost from the world. Okay, we move on to Perek Yud Ches Pasuk Aleph. As we mentioned, the near juxtaposed to the Parsha of the Melech is the Parsha of the Kohanim. Samach Parshas Kohanim the Parshas Melech, because the Melech is anointed by the Kohen Gadol. And then finally, Perek Yud Ches Pasuk Daled, we have the mitzvah of giving Truma. Reishis Deganecha Tiraishecha v'Yitzharecha. We have the mitzvah of Truma. Now Reishis Degancha. When is one chayiv in Truma? One is chayiv in Truma when one laps off the top of the grain, when it's in the barrel, from miruach. Says the Baal HaTurim, the gematria of Reishis Degancha is Mishet Timrach, from when it is smoothed out. So here we have it. We have 12 offerings from the Baal HaTurim. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu continue to give us Siyata D'Shmaya, Lahareinu, Min Tairasai, Neflois, wishing everyone bracha v'hatzlacha and a wonderful rest of the week. And Shabbos Parshas Shoftim, Chodesh Elul, Haba Aleinu L'Tova.